I'm Lamorne Morris. This is my story from my mouth.
How old are you? Where are you originally from, and where do you currently reside?
How old am I? I'm 36 years old. I'm from Chicago and I currently reside in Los Angeles, California.
How would you say was your upbringing? Poor, middle class, or rich?
My upbringing was poor. I was born on the south side of Chicago. Uh, we moved around a little bit in that area. My mom worked at the post office, and then my father was a drug dealer. So that was tricky because it was like my mom was making enough money to support us. It was four of us, but then he would sell all our shit. Like he just would. I remember one time my mom bought for my sister's birthday, I think her 12th birthday or something. She bought her like a bedroom set, like a dresser, a bed, like this Disney something like that. And she spent a lot of money on it. And then we went to my grandma's house to visit. Came back, everything was gone. Like he used to sell our food. Like it was that bad. We used to have to hide food in the house. So uh, we that's how we grew up. So I would say poor. And then once we got out of that situation, it was probably like around high school years became more middle class around high school time. Yeah.
All right, cool. As a kid, what did you think you were going to be?
As a kid, I thought I was going to be a basketball player. I was good for my age until kids started growing up, and I moved. This is how I knew I wasn't going to play basketball professionally. We moved. I was in high school. We moved to the white neighborhood, and I was like, "Oh man, this is about to be a wrap." Like I'm coming from the south side of Chicago. I get over there, but these kids, these white kids going through the legs, dunking. I'm like, "Oh no, no, no! I'm gonna go act. I'm gonna go in the theater real quick, learn how to put makeup on and dance on stage." So that's what I did. But that's when I realized I couldn't. That wasn't for me.
So, what was your first career choice?
That's not gonna fuck with you. That sound.
Don't worry about
Okay.
it.
My first career choice was sports journalism. I wanted to be a broadcaster, so I said I started interning at different places, radio stations, like watching how the hosts do it, the journalists, the people who would like come up with all the stats, the statisticians or whatever. Then I realized how much work that was. I said with journalism, I don't know how much research y'all be doing. I was like, I said, I just rather act, man. I rather perform, and then I started doing theater in Chicago. That was it. That was my first. Yeah. How far did I get with my education? I got to about 2 years in college, then I left. I went to a 2-year college for theater, graduated that program, and I could have went on and kept going, but I was like, I want to act, and I already finished that program, so let me just go and start doing that. In retrospect, I wish I would have probably went a little bit longer, or waited till I started working as an actor. Took some time off to 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 study more, learn more about business or whatever it may be. But you know, I still might do that. I still might go back to school.
It's never too late. Adult.
What age do I feel like I became an adult? I would probably say 22. I was probably 22. Moved to New York, so that's when we met. That was a whole different. New York is. You could be 5 years old, move to New York. That's when you became an adult. Because New York, I don't know what steroids y'all on, but I'm talking like a boy would call me at 6 a.m. I'm in New York, sleep, 6 a.m. Yo, what you doing? I'm like, what? Sleep. Nigga, wake up, man. Let's get this money. What? Like, what? 6 a.m. The sun ain't up. What are you doing? Like, so that's when I realized I started to have. I understood what a work ethic was. You know, everything as an actor, sometimes stuff can come easy to you if you're good. So stuff was kind of coming a little bit easy. I would just have to audition, and then everything else would be handed to me. But when you're trying to earn money and you're living on your own, and you don't have your mom to like tell you what to do, and you don't have a template or a blueprint to follow, you got to make your own lane at that point. That's probably when I moved to New York. Yeah.
At what age did you make the career choice that most people know you for?
At what age did I make the career choice that most people know me for? So I started on that path probably around the time when I moved to New York. So I started just being on camera, understanding the business of it, understanding, you know, just camera aesthetics. Just, you know, I remember one time we were in Philly. I'm not sure if you remember that, but I was trying to interview people, but my mic was all over the place. We got to it. He come to he grabbed the mic like, nigga, put the mic. I was like, oh, damn, nigga, chill. Like, and then I realized like, you're on camera. That's it. You're on camera. You can't go back and erase stuff if you don't want the footage. You got to put your best foot forward where you can, and that helped me with acting because, you know, theater has this discipline where you have to be on the whole time. And I figured, oh, it's camera, so they could just edit and do all this stuff, but it's like not all the time. You gotta make, because once, you know, some people say some messed up stuff in an interview on TV and they wish they took it back. So you gotta be aware. And then so I started that path when I moved to New York, but then when I got to LA, I got on the TV show New Girl. So most people know me from that. And then, I was about 27 when I got on that show.
Talk about how you took like a leap of faith on your acting career. Because when we first met, you know, they had you doing the talking head shows. And I remember you coming to me saying, yo, Choke, I want to be a comedian. Like, I want to be an actor. I don't want to do this. Can we do like skits and stuff?
Yeah.
And that's what developed the B.E.T. now into us going from just little skits into making it a little more of a show than just tossing the videos. But then there was the time when, you know, you went and you spoke to Reggie and you asked him, hey, can I work from L.A. so I could pursue my acting?
Yep.
And you went and did that, and then, you know, other people, you went and you had to give a cosign, really didn't, and you moved to L.A. and then they cut you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so proud of you because when I met you, you knew what you wanted to do, and you wanted to, and you was like, yo, help me, you know, pursue this dream.
Yeah.
I remember we went in and you did a show where you actually auditioned for Capone as a comedian, and we made a show out of it. Where it was real. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's why, you know, you are an example of, yo, follow your dreams no matter what. You went and thought you got the okay to go move to LA, and then somebody else cut you off.
Right.
And look at you today.
Man. So, dude, that journey was crazy. Going all the way from figuring out the leap of faith part. So, it wasn't even supposed to be a leap of faith. It was like we all were on the same page. You know what I'm saying? I got this backing. I got you. I got Reggie. I got people who know how to make stuff happen, and y'all were like, cool. So you know, the whole plan was to shoot it in LA. It was gonna be great. It was gonna be dope. So when I got out here after getting cut, that's when it wasn't really it was a leap of faith, but it was like I thought I had the network behind me. Yeah. And once I got cut, man, that was crazy because I ended up in my car at some point. I ended up like I used to walk down the street like in like not far from here. This apartment that I had, it was restaurants and grocery stores right across the street. And I remember I used to just walk like an old dude, my hands behind my back, my head up, looking at the ground, just walking. And cats would think I was just walking because some people knew me from B.E.T. I was looking for money on the ground, like every day. You walk far enough, you can find 10, 15 bucks, and like just throughout the course of an 8-hour day, I'm sitting there just. I didn't want to be like. I wasn't gonna beg people for money, but I was like, it got that bad at one point, and I didn't tell nobody. I was too embarrassed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So then finally, when I would eat every day, but then I would like. That leap of faith turned to a missed audition. I had a bad audition. And then on top of it, I had another one. I was like, all right, man, this whole thing, it just ain't working out. And then my last one, I was late for it. I lied. I said I read the script. I didn't. So I just started to improvise and start making stuff up. And I booked it. And I was like, oh man, I'm too busy reading the script trying to figure out what they want to see from me. But I should be showing them what I know how to do, because that might give them some ideas, you know, because people ain't creative enough a lot of times. You gotta show it to them. Right. So that's what ended up happening. And then I booked it, and then from there, I booked like 7 commercials that week. And then after that, it was like, it was boom. I used all those commercials for a reel, got an audition for New Girl, and that was it.
Cool.
Some of my early struggles in pursuing my dreams were probably, I would say, confidence. That was a definite struggle. You're confident at one end, and then you get rejected so many times that you're like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, or, you know. So that kind of started it. So I would say the failures in this business, it's just a lot of times you're asking people for stuff. A lot of people are creators, so you create your own stuff. So some people can't do that. So you're relying on other people to hire you. And when you get those rejection in that instance, feels like death. So you're like, man, all these people working out here, and I don't know how to get in. So that was about it, man. Like the car getting repoed, the evictions from the apartment out here, the bad relationships, I mean, you name it, man. When I first moved out here, it was like, LA ain't shit. I was like, man, I'm leaving. I tried to leave. I tried to go to Chicago. Yeah. Tried to go back to Chicago. I was gonna go back on stage. I was gonna hit theater again and just start over. But I had no money. I couldn't get on a plane, and I wasn't driving because my car was repoed. So I was like, I remember my mom sent me a few $100s and was like, make this work. And that's what happened, man. I figured it out. So yeah, some are early, and I overcame them pretty much by persistence. You overcome those struggles by being persistent, man. Like, what's that saying? Anything worth having, you work at. And that was it. Classes, I used to take acting classes religiously. I would get on the laptop. If I couldn't afford the classes, I would just read scripts. I would constantly read them. And then just, you know, a stroke of luck happens one day where you mess up your lines, and then you start improvising, you're making stuff up. And then they go, oh, that's actually funny. I go, oh, my whole career was improv comedy. Oh, maybe I should use it. Oh, okay, that's what you do. Oh, okay. So that was it, man. I overcame it by just using my instincts and sticking to my strengths. Yeah.
Did you have anyone close to you that doubted you in your dreams?
Anybody close to me that doubted me in my dreams? I had a buddy, like still this day, he's still one of my homies back from Chicago, but he was involved in another line of work, and I didn't want to get in that line of work. You know what I'm saying? He used to be back in the day, and I saw the amount of money he was making, and I remember like one time. I remember one time he had bought this dope ass computer, like this thing with all these towers and racks and all this stuff on it, and he didn't know how to use it. And my brother used to build computers, and I was used to like being there with my brother while he built this computer or whatever. And I'm looking at my boy like, how you just drop $6,000 on a computer? You don't know how to use it. He was like, gee, when you could afford to buy one of these, come call me. But in the meantime, help me fix it. And I was like, and every time I would go to auditions, he would go like, man, you already on this BS with these auditions and stuff, man. And I'm like, yo, this, because we went to theater school together. You know what I'm saying? He just gave up. So it's not that he doubted me. He was more so like a little doubtful because that, coming from where we came from, like that wasn't gonna happen. Like, you know, being on TV wasn't a thing. That's for other people, you know. So that's probably one. Then somebody, I wouldn't say close to me, but you know, somebody we worked with used to just shit on me on a regular basis. She hated me, you know. I'm talking, but tell me how funny I was not. Tell me, I'm like, but our show, B.E.T now doing more ratings than 106. You know what I'm saying? Like, and shout out to Terrence and Roxy. That's my family right there. But
and
like,
they canned our show because of that.
Yeah,
Because they said it was messing up the wallpaper show.
Yeah.
Advertisers started calling when the advertiser on there.
Yep. So, that you get that kind of doubt. That fuels you right there, though. That makes you just go like, oh, okay, word, all right, bet.
Who was the most supportive of your journey?
The most supportive of my journey is my mom, 100%, because my mom had a savings, and I remember she sent me a check, and it was all her savings, and I was like, that's not gonna happen. The fact that she did that, I made sure like, nah, I'm not spending that. Sent it back to her. She sent it back. I remember I sent it back. Used some of it. Things started happening, so that's why I take care of my mom right now. Ever since I was a kid, she used to encourage it. My mom, that's how my mom is. If my mom see you draw a circle perfectly, she gonna say, "You should be an artist. Let's put our money behind this. This kid right here is everybody." One of my nieces. I love her. I love you, Anissa, but you can't draw. Like, you can't. But if you listen to my mama tell it, like, we all gotta get behind this. And I'm like, no, she's not that good. The other ones are. She's not that good. But my mom is very supportive, especially of the arts. She was a poet. She still is. She did theater back in high school, and she started having kids and stuff like that. She got married, and that kind of she didn't. She walked away from that to support us, and then. Hopefully now, we're trying to get her back in it, yeah.
All right.
Man, the highlight of my journey, again, back to my mom, is retiring my mom. Like, once I retired my mom, that was like a big relief off of me, because when you're a kid, you're always worried about your mom's well-being. Like, she looking after you, but you a man, so. Well, you're a 6-year-old man, a 7-year-old man. You think you still think you could take care of her, and then when you get older, you see how stressed out she is sometimes when she comes from work, the amount of hours she puts in, and working there for over 40 years. Once I got a chance to retire my mom and get her a house and all that, and I felt like I could then relax, because I was kind of going in overdrive,
Right.
and then now I could pick roles wisely, I could kind of settle it. I'm not one of those actors that's like, man, I got to be in every movie all the time. I got to be on stage all the time. I'm like, no, I like the way I currently have my setup. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother here with me. I got the family in Chicago, some family out here. Everybody's good. It's a nice setup, and I'm not stressed out like that by work. I don't have the luxury yet of picking and choosing everything I want. I'm not Will Smith, but at the same time, I do get some offers, and I do get to kind of pick a little bit here and there, which is great. So yeah, I would say. Damn, I forgot the question now. I'm just rambling now.
That's the highlight.
Oh, that's the highlight. Yeah, that's the highlight. Definitely return my mom.
What was the worst part of your journey?
Man, the worst part of my journey. The worst part of my journey is when I first moved to LA, because that's the lowest confidence I ever had. And that's a terrible place to be if you're in entertainment, is to not have confidence. Like, you got to be able to walk in a room, never have been on camera, but you got to make them feel like you're OG in this business. And when I first got out here, I was super timid and shy and wasn't working, wasn't booking anything. And I remember getting on the bus to go to an audition, and I remember this girl sitting across from me. She had her boyfriend, or whoever the dude was, with her. I'm not sure if I ever told you this story, but she goes, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And the dude goes, "That ain't him, stupid. Why would he be on the bus?" And I was like, hey, I hit a wall. I was sitting there, because I was about to get up, because it'd been a minute since it was a year out here. It had been a minute since anybody had recognized me and asked me for a photo from all the B.E.T days. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, damn, all right, cool. I'm about to take a photo with this fan. And that was like, then I realized I'm on the bus. Then I realized, like, they shitting on it because I'm on the bus. So I got low. I was like, this is it. This is that moment that people talk about when that confidence gets to the ground. Cats don't want to fuck with them, and so that was probably my lowest point. if I could go back and do it all over again, the thing that I would change, that I would change the way I structured my life in New York. When I came out to New York, you know, I was like, okay, I got the job on TV already. This is it. That's all I need to focus on. But there are other aspects of the business that I should have been learning. I should have been learning more about what you do. I should have been learning more about behind the camera. I should have had a stronger management situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to my boy Ramses. We were both figuring it out. And my boy Ramses was like, I'm a manager. I was like, cool. And it was just him and I trying to figure stuff out. I'm over here looking at, you know, other cats. They got these powerhouse managers. They're over making money over here. They're learning about that side of the business. And me and Ramses, we both actors. You know, we both actors trying to figure it out. We still talk about it, how we should have attached somebody else to our squad who knew the ins and outs of New York and how to navigate, because there was so much time wasted. It's like New York could be a gold mine if you know how to pull from it, but we didn't know how to pull from it. So we was just, you know, however many days we were filming, that's the only time I was working. Most of the time I was just hollering at chicks. Like, that was it. That's it.
There's someone somewhere inspired to do what you did, and they just beginning. Mm-hmm. So they just getting on the highway to get to the journey that you thousands of miles away. Mm-hmm. What potholes can you tell them to look out for?
If somebody's trying to do what I do and get on this same career path and the journey that I'm on, I would tell them to avoid laziness. Because when you're not lazy, you're gonna always figure something out. You're gonna learn how to write. You're gonna learn how to you're gonna jump on stage when you got the energy to do it. And all that stuff builds up a book of work. It builds up a body of work. It builds up character. I got real lazy at one point, and I know it. I still battle with that sometimes. I still battle with the being comfortable and going, and then you see everybody else moving and shaking, and you watching TV, you like, man, that's a dope role. How did he get that? It's like, oh, nigga ain't lazy. That's why. And so I would tell people to definitely avoid being lazy, avoid negative people around you. You got to have people that's constantly encouraging you and that's constantly better than you. If you're in a circle of people, don't be the smartest. You got to have people that you can pull from constantly, that's constantly teaching you stuff. I mean, eventually you're going to be the smartest person in the room, possibly, depending on your level of intelligence. I don't know, but you always want to be learning from somebody. So I would avoid the people who aren't. And another pothole I would say is avoid, it's kind of the same as avoiding laziness, but it's if you do see some success, avoid being comfortable. You tend to work harder when you sleep on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a comfortable life, that's fine, but you still got to find that edge that you need to. It's like when you hear about basketball players, you watch the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan over here talking about, he making up stories that people talking shit to him. You know what I'm saying? So he could have that fuel to try to compete, because Michael Jordan, he's the greatest at that. He playing basketball, he's the greatest right now. Mm-hmm. Back then, I think LeBron's the greatest right now. But I'm saying, back when Michael Jordan was playing, he's the greatest. Mm-hmm. And so, ain't nobody to compete with. So he making shit up, talking about this dude talk shit to me, and this dude talk shit to me, and this dude got beef with me. And they're like, we don't got no beef with you. It's like, yes, you do. And so, when you're an actor, you got to sometimes find that edge, and I would say being comfortable, you won't have it. So you got to find that. Yeah. My focus today on life and in business. On life, it's honestly, with everything that's been going on in this world, man, I can't help but feel like this it's starting to get a little tricky and scary a little bit. When you notice it, you always notice the racism around you, but when it hits a point the way it's been hitting lately, you're like, man, we back in the 60s or we in the 40s, 50s, like it's starting to get that aggressive and it's starting to get that blatant. Yeah. So my focus in life these days is trying to create some sort of change from the inside of our film business. the way they depict black people, minorities in general, in what we do, can affect the way kids look at us, can affect the way, then it just affects these stereotypes that people put on us. You know, everybody's like, the black people are like this, or they like that, and they exclude all of the systemic racism. You know, they exclude all the systemic racism. You know, people don't want to admit that. People don't want to face their shame. You know what I'm saying? So how I want to do it in the best way I know how is the way I choose my roles, the sets that I work on. I'm trying to build an initiative right now where networks can, for lack of a better word, better police themselves. You know what I'm saying? Where you got more people, black people of color behind the camera, more barbers, hairstylists in the union, technicians. We need more people. You need more technicians running the algorithm for Netflix and all these networks, that when they show the banners for the movies and stuff like that. You know, it's so funny. You can tell a person's ethnicity by looking at the suggested things on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be promoting these things already on a regular basis to everybody. You know, and I think it's almost like segregating the material on Netflix. You know, a lot of cats don't know about some of the programming that we have, but they won't know because it's not being pushed by the networks. You don't have a lot of black executives. So even all the way down to the script. When you get a script, there's a lot of stereotypical bullshit in these scripts that you gotta, when you get it, you read it, you roll your eyes and go, okay, now I gotta change this, I gotta change that. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm an actor. I should just get there, the material is good, and we work. But instead, you gotta sit back, you gotta edit, figure out how not to sound too coonish and too this, the way the script's making you sound, and figure all that stuff out. There needs to be some sort of regulator of this. Somebody that when the studio is greenlighting the movie, they come in, they read it, making sure you ain't blowing up too many brown people in a movie. You know, every war movie, everybody's brown getting blown up. You got one white dude just killing everybody, and everybody's like, yeah, like that type of stuff is terrible. You know, and we like these movies, we watch them, but we don't realize what it's doing to us. You know, so that's something I want to focus a lot of my attention on. And what was the second part to that question?
Life in that business.
So that's kind of that's where I am in life, and a little bit in business, but more so on the business side. I'm just becoming more financially literate. I'm taking more control of my, now, and a lot of it has to do with the pandemic, to be fair, because I'm at home a lot. So I'm at home a lot, I'm like, I can manage my own money. I can handle it myself. You know, I don't need anybody to do it for me. So been spending a lot of time focusing on that, and you know, just planning for the future. I'm Lamorne Morris. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. This is my story.